Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we dig into the documents that companies are legally required to share. Today we are looking at a Form 40F, which is basically an annual report that foreign companies file with the US Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC. We are going to decode Osisko goat. We'll see if we can find some treasure in this filing, or maybe just some interesting rocks. This document is essentially Osisko Gold Royalties' yearly check-in with US investors. It tells them how the company performed over the past year, what risks they face, and a whole lot of other important information. Because Osisko is a Canadian company, they file this form to comply with US regulations since they are listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Think of it like translating their business into a language US investors can understand. They filed this report related to the year ended December 31, 2024. Before diving into the numbers, it's important to understand something called forward-looking statements. These are basically predictions about the future. The company uses words like plans, believes, and estimates. Basically, these are not guarantees. A whole host of things could change the outcome. The company lists a number of risk factors that might change the course of events. It can be anything from who's running the mines they have royalties on, to commodity prices, to changes in government rules. It is basically them saying, here's what we think will happen, but don't hold us to it. This report includes several important documents. There is the annual information form, which gives a general overview of the company. There are also the audited annual financial statements, which show the real numbers as verified by outside accountants. Finally, there's the management's discussion and analysis, where the company's leaders explain their performance and strategy. These pieces together give a pretty complete picture. One small but important detail is the fees paid to the company's accountants, the people who check their financial statements. This is in the annual information form. It's a good sign when the audit committee, which oversees the accounting, has a policy in place to pre-approve all those fees. This helps make sure the accountants are independent and aren't being pressured to give the company a free pass. The Audit and Risk Committee is very important. The report mentions that Osisko's Board of Directors has this committee which follows the rules of the Securities Exchange Act. What's important here is that the people in charge of checking the numbers are separate from the people running the company. This helps to keep the company honest. Let's get to the numbers. In December of 2024, Osisko had about $89 million in cash. That's a pretty good amount of money to have on hand, giving them flexibility to make new deals or handle unexpected problems. Accounts receivable is the money owed to the company, and their report mentions $38.7 million in receivable. It is still a number to keep an eye on, because if that money doesn't come in, it could affect their bottom line. Total assets amounted to roughly $4.4 billion. Total liabilities were $841 million. When you subtract what they owe from what they own, you get their equity. Equity represents the owner's stake in the company. The company has about $3.6 billion of equity. It's also important to remember that a lot of those assets are tied up in royalties and streams, which are basically rights to future income from mines. These numbers give you a sense of the size and financial structure of the company. Looking at the income statement for the year, Osisko generated $824 million in revenue in 2024, compared to the $667 million they made in 2023. Their revenues went up quite a bit. This jump could be due to a variety of factors like increased production from mines they have royalties on, high gold prices, or new deals they've made. What's really important is net earnings, also called profit. In 2024, Osisko's profit was about $98 million. Now here's where it gets interesting. In 2023, they had a loss of $3.8 million. Going from losing money to making almost $100 million is a pretty big deal. The document does not mention what happened. Basic earnings per share went from a loss of 2 cents per share in 2023 to earnings of 52 cents per share in 2024. This is usually a metric used to compare with the competition. This report talks about liquidity risk, or the risk of not having enough cash to pay their bills. This is not really a problem for them. It seems like the company has enough cash and generates enough income to be able to operate and fulfill its obligations. Here's a big risk for any company that deals with mining: political risk. The company's royalties and streams come from mines all over the world, and those countries can change their laws or regulations at any time. They specifically mention Canada, the United States, Mexico, Chile, Brazil, and Australia. Political instability, changes in mining laws, or even just delays in getting permits can all hurt the company's income. Another risk they talk about is cyber risk. Basically, they depend on computers to operate, and if those systems get hacked, it could cause big problems. They have to protect things like their financial data, their operational information, and even the information about the mines they depend on. A successful cyber attack could disrupt their business, damage their reputation, and cost them a lot of money. Finally, the report mentions corporate governance. Osisko is listed on both the Toronto Stock Exchange and the New York Stock Exchange, so they have to follow the rules of both. However, as a foreign company, they don't have to follow all of the New York Stock Exchange's rules. The details of how they are different are listed on their website. Corporate governance is about how the company is run, and it's important for making sure the company is accountable to its investors. Now, looking at these results more broadly, Osisko seems to have had a really good year. The revenue numbers look strong, and the fact that they turned a loss into a profit is definitely something to brag about. I would have liked to see the report delve deeper into the reasons for those results. However, they do face risks like changes to mining laws and cyber attacks. Overall, though, Osisko seems to be in a pretty good position. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of corporate filings. We'll see you next time on Corporate Decoder.